All right, so the objection is noted and overruled. So, Mr. Jackson, you can put that K for identification is now an exhibit.
May I approach?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before I proceed.
So, jurors, before you consider any electronic communications in your deliberations, and you heard Trooper Garino read a lot of text messages the other day. I didn't interrupt him. I probably should have. But before you consider any electronic communications in your deliberations, you must first find that it is more likely true than not that the person who either authored or created or transmitted the communication was in fact the person alleged. So here we have communications between, allegedly between Ms. McCabe and her sister. Before you can consider them, you must find that it's more likely than not that they were the people who sent and received those. If you do not find it's more likely true than not that the person alleged to have created or sent them, then you may not consider the electronic communication in deciding your case. Now, when you read or hear about these text messages, you may not consider the statements for their truth, but you may consider them solely for the limited purpose of understanding the state of mind of here, Ms. McCabe, when she sent those messages. All right, so now that's what I needed to do. Mr. Jackson, your turn.
Thank you, Your Honor. With the court's permission, I would ask that the January 29th text be published.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf, is there a way to... There we go.
Margaret, the witness might need that exhibit.
Your Honor, may I approach just to retrieve the exhibit?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Some of the jurors.
Yeah, I was just going to say, could you please enlarge that?
Any way to make that bigger? We'll take one bubble at a time.
Ms. McCabe, do you need lights on, or are you okay?
Oh, I'm okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. McCabe, does this appear to be a representative copy of what you're looking at that's just been marked for evidence?
Yes, it does.
Starting at that top text, which is the green bubble here, can you see at the very top where it says from, there's a redaction?
Yes.
The last 4 digits of that phone number, do you recognize that?
Yes.
Is that your phone number?
Yes.
Do you see just beneath it, it says to, and there's a line that says Coco?
Yes.
Is that your sister?
Yes, it is.
That's Nicole.
Yes.
And if you look down on the bottom right corner of this exhibit, do you see a time and date stamp?
Yes, I do.
What is that time and date?
It's 1:29:22 at 7:54.
Is that 7:54 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read for the jurors what you texted to your sister at 7:54?
Sure. Kerry talked to the cops and kept it simple.
Who's Kerry?
Kerry Roberts.
And this is a text that you sent about Miss Roberts's interview with the police.
Yes, it is.
If Mr. Wilk, can we pull up the next text, please? Do you see the response in the blue bubble?
Yes, I do.
Who's responding to whom?
I'm responding to my sister, Nicole.
Can you please tell us the time? And we know it's the same date. What time is that?
That would be 7:56. Or 58, sorry. I'm not sure if that's an 8 or a 6.
I may have misheard you. The blue bubble is from whom?
It's from my sister, Nicole.
To whom?
To me.
Okay, I may have misheard you. I thought you said the reverse. I want to make sure we're very clear. The blue bubble is from Nicole. The green bubbles are from you.
Yes, correct.
Got it. And this text says, I'm sorry, read that for me one more time.
Sure. Okay. Try and get some sleep. Talk tomorrow.
Next text, please. What's the time of this text?
7:57.
This is from you to Coco, to Nicole?
Yes.
What does that text say?
Any update?
What did you mean by any update?
I meant had she heard anything or learned anything new?
Next text, please. Do you see a response from your sister to you?
Yes.
What does that say?
We'll get more info tomorrow. Don't want to text about it.
Next text, please. Is this a text from you to your sister Nicole?
Yes, it is.
What does that say?
Right.
Next text, please. What is the date and time of this text?
It is 1:29 and 2022 at 8:01 p.m.
And this is in response to the text that you just read from you to your sister? And this
Yeah.
is now a text from your sister back to you, correct?
Correct.
What does this text say?
Okay, text me in AM, or if you hear anything later.
Thank you. We can bring the lights up for just a moment. One of the texts, the third from the bottom text on the second page, in other words, the top text on the page, was from your sister to you. We'll get more info, TOMM, correct?
Yes.
Don't want to text about it, correct?
Yes.
TOMM means tomorrow.
Yes.
This was January 29th, 2022, correct?
Yes.
Tomorrow would have been January 30th,
Yes.
2022. Is that right?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm holding another document. This is a multi-page document. Eight pages in total length. There's a base page on the bottom, 02148. And you got a copy. Thank you. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you please take a look at that document, flip through it, and let me know when you're finished?
This is the document we discussed at sidebar.
It is, Your Honor.
All right, so while she reviews that document, I want to bring in our legal analyst guest in the studio with me. Trial attorney Michael Jaffer is here. Lots of experience doing criminal defense work you have. And so we saw those text messages shown to the jury. What, in your opinion, did they reveal?
I have no idea. I was watching. I don't know what he's doing. I think Alan Jackson's way out on a limb here, right? This cross-examination should have ended a long time ago. And now he's bringing up text with her and her sister. This was the day after John O'Keefe, or the morning of John O'Keefe being found dead, their friend, and they're talking to the police. She probably went to sleep at, 8 o'clock in the morning. She was woken up at 4 by Karen Reed. I have no idea. This is too much. I think they are way too bought into what they did in the first trial. I think they're way too pot committed. I feel like he's got no choice but to really, really dig in deep. But I think he's doing it too much. I don't know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like a big build-up. You had to chat with your family, and she's not denying it. She's going, yeah, of course, I have a chat. It's my sister. I mean, this is just such a traumatic day. I keep thinking of the people involved. You know, it's one thing to look at a text and, you know, try to gather something, but I mean, they lost their friend. That was the morning. Jennifer McCabe is so close to this family, still is to this day. That was the morning that she's woken up out of bed, like you said, dragged to this scene, finding him in the blizzard. They don't know what's going on. At this point, Karen Reed isn't charged. So I think that's another thing. You know, I believe it was like the next day or the day after they, you know, arrest her for this. So, I mean, Michael, I guess I can understand why they're like trying to figure out which way the wind is blowing here.
I think the conversation, if I was a fly on the wall in their war room, what they've said is, we hope that some jurors come in, essentially, that will buy into our theory. So to them, if I was his consultant, I would say, dude, you've got enough there. There's nothing really credible there, but if you are hoping that a juror would just buy into anything, you have enough enough there. Don't tie it, don't dig deep on this Jen McCabe thing. So that's why this Jen McCabe, I think all of their cross-examinations have just been innuendo and nothing solid. But the Jen McCabe thing, I think is going to take even a flat earth juror off the bench and put them and say, hey, you know what, this is too much. I don't think anybody is going to relate to what Alan Jackson is doing here.
I'm in agreement with you, Michael. Great points. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit a break, and let's do that now. We're at the bottom of the hour, just about. And so when we come back, we will see what she's read in that report she was reviewing, and apparently some more text messages still to come. Thanks for being with us. Let's go back into the courtroom now. We're about to see some more text messages in the cross-examination of witness Jennifer McCabe.
Ms. Wool, can you make that a little bigger? I apologize. Thank you. Do you recognize what's depicted both on the screen and in your hand?
Yes.
Does it appear to be the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. Taking a look at that first text, who is that from and who is it to?
Okay. All right. It's from Brian Albert, and it's to myself, my sister Nicole, and Matt McCabe, my husband.
And if you can orient us, please, and I won't do this with every single text, but orient us for the first text. What date and time is this text?
This is February 1st at 12:50.
So this is about 3 days after the event in question.
Yes.
12:50 noon.
Noon, yeah.
Just before 1 p.m.
Yes.
What does that text say?
Julie said Channel 4 is in D&E.
And that's from whom?
Brian.
So Brian Albert explain what that text means.
So Brian Albert is telling us that Julie told him Channel 4 is in D&E.
Who's Julie?
I'm sorry, Julie Albert.
Thank you. Let's go to the next text. Is this in response to the text that you just read?
Yes.
The prior text mentioned Channel 4 and D&E. What is D&E?
D&E is a sub shop that is owned by Chris Albert.
Is that in Canton?
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's in Canton.
On the main street of Canton?
Yes.
Directly next door to what?
Waterfall.
Across the street from Waterfall.
Oh, sorry. C.F. McCarthy's, yeah.
Thank you. Across the street from Waterfall, directly adjoining, they have an adjoining wall to C.F. McCarthy's, correct?
Yes.
And D, is it D and E or D in E?
D and E.
D and E. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just the name of the pizza sub shop.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that context. Ms. McCabe, can you read what this text says, who it's from and who it's to?
This is from Matt McCabe to myself, my sister Nicole, and Brian.
Can you read it for us, please?
Sure. Eating, I assume. Ask Chris to ask some questions. Tell them the guy never went into the house.
What does tell them the guy never went into the house mean to you? How did you take that?
I took that as John never came in the house.
Who's the guy?
John.
John O'Keefe.
Yes.
And the beginning of that sentence is tell them that the guy never came in the house, correct?
Yes.
And the sentence before that is ask Chris to ask some questions, correct?
Yes.
So this is Matt McCabe directing that Chris ask questions of Channel 4, correct?
I wouldn't say directing.
Whatever word you want to use. He was
No, I'm saying that
suggesting.
Matt. I think we're all looking to find out what happened, so Matt was like, ask some questions. What do they know?
And also indicating that Chris should tell them the guy never came in the house, correct?
John never came in the house, correct?
Okay. Next text, please. Can you orient us? Who is this text from and who is it to?
Okay. This text is from Brian to myself, to Nicole, and to Matt.
Brian who?
Sorry, Brian Albert.
And this is in response to the text above that you just read, correct?
Yes.
Where Matt McCabe said, tell Chris to find out, get an update or something, and tell him that the guy never came in the house.
Yes.
This is in response to that text.
Yes.
And what does Brian Albert respond?
Exactly.
One word, correct?
Yes.
Next text, please. This is a green box, so I presume this is you.
Yes, it is.
And this is to whom?
To Nicole, to Brian, to Matt.
And what does your text read?
It means, oh my God.
It's O-N-G, but
Yeah.
it meant to be O-M-G, correct?
Yes, yeah, I do a lot of errors.
Which stands for oh my God.
Yes.
Next text, please. Who is this from and who is it to?
So this is from my sister Nicole to myself, to Brian, and to Matt.
And what does that text read?
It says, I assume it's just to eat, but Brian, if she is there, ask her what the deal is.
Next text, please. Before I ask you about this text, the last text, that was from whom? One more time.
My sister Nicole.
It was from your sister Nicole,
Yes.
and she mentions a she, a pronoun she.
Yes.
Is that referring to Julie Albert?
To be honest, I don't know who she's referring to.
Well, remember the first text started, or did the first text start with someone reporting that Julie said that Channel 4 was in D&E?
Yes, it did.
So would that prior text mean get Julie Albert to get some updates on what's going on? Let's go back to that last text one more time.
Yeah,
You see where it reads, if she's there? Does that mean if Julie is at D&E, hence she just reported that Channel 4 is there?
I'm truly not sure if who she's referring to as the she.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go to the next text, please. Mr. Wilk, I think you missed one. The one above it. Who's this text from and who's it to?
This text is from myself, and it is to my sister Nicole, to Brian, and to Matt.
And what does this read?
This says to ask if we heard if she is in a mental hospital.
Next text, please. Who is this from and who is it to?
This is from me to my sister Nicole, to Brian, and to Matt.
What's the time on this text?
2:55.
And what does it read?
Kerry is here going over timeline.
Who's the Kerry referring to?
Kerry Roberts.
What is here?
I would assume here would mean my house.
Next text, please. Who is this from and who's it to?
This is from Brian to me, to Nicole, to Matt.
And what does this text read?
I did hear that.
Next text, please. Who is this text from and who is it to?
This text is from me to my sister Nicole, to Brian, to Matt.
What does it read?
And we handed the phone to Kerry,
Who's Kerry?
Kerry Roberts.
What phone are you referring to?
Mine.
Who was on the other end of that phone?
On February 1st, I believe it could have been Michael Proctor.
Next text, please. Who is this from and who is it to?
This is from me to Nicole, to Brian, to Matt.
What does it read?
She is telling him everything.
Everything is in all caps with an exclamation point, correct?
Yes, it is.
What's the timestamp on this, Ms. McCabe?
2:55.
Who's the him that you're referring to in this text?
I believe it was Michael Proctor.
Next text, please. Who is this from and who is it to?
This is from me to Nicole, to Brian, to Matt.
What's the timestamp on this text?
2:55.
Same minute that you sent the last text?
Yes.
She's telling him everything?
Yes.
And then you follow up with what?
All the stuff.
Next text, please. Who's this responsive text from?
This is from Matt to myself, Nicole, and Brian.
And what's the timestamp on this?
4:35.
What does this read?
Yep, if she pleads out, it will end. If she fights it, it will be an episode.
Who's she?
I'm assuming that would be Miss Reed.
Next text, please. Who's this from and who's it to?
This is from Nicole to me, to Matt, and to Brian.
And what does this read?
She liked the text above.
The previous
Yeah.
text?
Yes.
Meaning like a thumbs up or a like?
Yeah, it just says liked. So
The one that reads, yeah, if she pleads, it will end. If she fights, it will be an episode.
Yes.
Next text, please. Who's this from and who's it to?
This is from Matt. Oh, sorry. To me, to Nicole, and to Brian.
And what does this read?
Brian, sitting separate.
Is that a period?
And they're not mentioning the date. This is February the 1st of 2022. So this is the day that Karen Reed is first arrested and charged with the killing of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. We'll hit a break. Be right back after this.
Is Karen Reed a killer girlfriend
She's guilty.
or the scapegoat in an elaborate cover-up?
Karen Reed was framed.
Karen Reed is accused of murdering her police officer boyfriend.
And it's stated repeatedly, I hit him, I hit him.
She may end up taking the stand. Her first trial ended with a hung jury.
They haven't proven anything.
Will a jury finally agree on a verdict?
We know who did it.
The Karen Reed murder retrial. Live coverage today on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. Back into the courtroom we go. We've got witness Jennifer McCabe on the stand. She willingly turned over her cell phone to investigators to try to help with the investigation and the timeline. And the defense has poured through them this time around, something we didn't see them do in trial number 1. And they're crossing her on some of the group messages she had back and forth with members of her family and friend group. Here we go.
Is that a period or a comma? I honestly can't see. Is that a period or a comma between Brian and sitting? Or can you tell?
I can't tell if it is or it's just like the way it printed out. I'm not sure.
Next text, please. Who's this from and who's it to?
Brian, to me, Nicole, and Matt.
What's the timestamp on this?
That is 4:55.
And what does that text read?
Okay.
And the next text. This is another green bubble. Who's this from and who's it to?
This is me, Matt, me, Nicole, Matt, and Brian.
And what did you say, what did you write in this text?
I wrote you listening.
And what's the timestamp on this?
That is 5:15.
I'm sorry, it would be what time?
Oh, I'm sorry, 5:15.
And in fact, at 5:15, Ms. Roberts was in your house being personally interviewed by Massachusetts State Police, correct?
They were there. I'm not sure if this is the exact time, but yes, they did come over.
Just to be clear and to orient us, there was a phone conversation that you were privy to between Kerry Roberts and Michael Proctor telephonically. correct?
She was
Earlier in the day.
Yeah, earlier in the day he had called me, and then Kerry had asked to speak with him.
And that's the handage with the phone. Correct?
Yes.
And later, a couple of hours later, 5-ish or so, she was still at your house. Michael Proctor came over and interviewed her at your home.
No.
Oh, sorry, not Michael.
Sorry.
Massachusetts State Police.
Came over and spoke to myself, her, and Matt.
And you wrote, you listening to the group, correct?
Yes.
Who was that specifically directed to?
I honestly don't know.
Was there anybody else in the house during her interview other than you and the troopers?
My husband, Matt, my daughter, her friend, my other daughter.
So of the people on this text chain, the only person that would have been in the house that could have conceivably, quote unquote, listened would be Matt. Okay.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Next text, please. Who's this from and who's it to?
It's from me to Matt, Nicole, and Brian.
And what does it read?
Cops here again.
You were reporting to the others on this text stream that the police had arrived at your house. They were in your house with you and Kerry that you just described, correct?
Yes, I was just telling them that they were here again.
Next text, please. Who is this from and who's it to?
This is from my sister, Nicole, to myself, Brian, and Matt. And Nicole says, call us after.
And what time was this?
This was 5:23.
Did you take this to mean that she wanted you to call the group after Kerry Roberts' interview and update them about that interview?
I took it as that she just wanted, to call and see what the cops said and if there was any update, any information.
Next text, please. Who's this from and who's it to?
This is from Matt, and it's to myself, Nicole, and Brian.
What time is this?
This is at 5:31.
And at 5:31, what does Mr. McCabe write to the group?
This girl could write a book nonstop.
Was that in reference to Kerry Roberts having her interview with the Massachusetts State Police?
Yes, it was.
And this girl is Kerry, correct?
Yes.
Next text, please. Who is this from and who is it to?
This is from me to Nicole, Brian, and Matt.
What time is this text?
5:32.
And what do you write to the group?
I love it.
And this is in direct response to Matt McCabe's, your husband's text about Kerry Roberts could write a book, correct?
Yes.
Suggesting that both you and Mr. McCabe were listening to her interview, correct?
We could hear different parts of it, correct?
Next text, please. And who is this from and who is it to?
This is from me to Nicole, to Brian, to Matt.
What did you write?
I wrote, she is telling them everything.
Similar to the text that we earlier saw that was in all caps when you indicated she's telling them everything, correct?
Yes.
On the phone. That was in reference to what she was saying on the phone.
Yes.
This is in reference to the live interview, correct?
Yes.
Also indicating that you were listening to and were privy to the content of her conversation with the police.
I could hear bits and pieces of it, yes.
Okay. Enough to say that she's telling them everything.
When I used the word everything, I meant it in the, not only was she telling them what had happened, but she was also telling them opinions and different things.
Okay, so you could hear it that much.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I'm going to get some thoughts from our legal analyst guest in the studio. Attorney Michael Jafer is here. Tell me what you're thinking as you're hearing these text messages read back. Jennifer McCabe's going through them. What kind of a picture is being painted for you, Mike?
I think Alan Jackson's trying to tie her in with the outburst with everybody. I think he's trying to put them all into one cabal. I think that's going to blow up in his face because at the end of the day, if you're a juror and if you sympathize with Jen McCabe, if you believe that she's honest and sincere, then Alan Jackson has tied everybody in to somebody who you like and you relate to. If he would have just stuck with just the Alperts and Higgins, that might have been something different. But I think he's trying to tie them in. I think this cross-examination is going too far.
Right. I feel like it may be falling a little bit flat, you know, at this point, because I mean, we're in day number 3 of her on the stand. You know, she's very forthcoming. It's not like she's hiding anything. You know, and again, these are people who went through a trauma. They're trying to ascertain the facts and the information. They don't know back then what we know today. Tell me, is there also a risk with him going too long on this that the jury could get disgusted with, even just the length of the cross?
Absolutely. The jurors are aware of the fact that he's kind of an outsider. He's grilling Jen McCabe. She's already testified that she has a mess. She's already testified that she's been open and honest. So at the end of the day, the risk of him going too far has already been, and that was like a day and a half ago. So yes, I think he's gone too far, and the jurors, I mean, we're not in the room, but the jurors are there. Like, it's a small courtroom. They're sitting right next to Jen McCabe. She's like within, like, you know, people can reach her. So I think he's gone too far, and I think that the risk of him going too far is already a day and a half old.
Sure, sure, Michael. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm a fan of a precise cross. Get in, cross where you need to, and sit down. Tell me, what do you think about how Karen Reed keeps turning around? When we see the split screen, she keeps swinging her chair around, looking in the back of the courtroom, looking at her client, talking to somebody in the back. What do you think a juror might think of that if they're sitting there watching her do that?
She's become a professional at body language at this courtroom, so she's got a lot of practice.
Yeah.
I think that her demeanor, juror will either relate to it or not. But at the end of the day, I think that she, you know, I think they'll still have in their mind when she was interviewed about his mom and said she imitated her mom. I think that they will feel some kind of way about her, and her demeanor right now with Jen McCabe, I don't think is doing her any favors.
Right. Michael Jaffer, great having you in the studio. Thank you for the great analysis as always.